The Succeed in Life Center has a new program to help couples in struggling relationships. Whether you've been married for only a few months or for several years, or even if you're about to get married and want to avoid the pitfalls, the Succeed in Marriage course will give you the help you need right now. Let's just say it. Marriage is hard. The coming together of two different people with their own different cultures, values, beliefs, and expectations can be a true recipe for disaster. No wonder approximately 50% of all couples in America end up getting a divorce. What are the main marriage killers? What problems have proven to be even stronger than the love that first united a couple? See if one or more of these marriage killers are affecting your relationship. Counting down at number 5, addiction. When your partner has an addiction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, gambling, pornography, or another addiction, it becomes the priority in your spouse's life and you become an outsider in the marriage.
I know the problem was not just a drink, it was me. I had a problem with alcohol and I had a problem with drugs, and amongst other things. And all the promises that I had made her about not making her suffer, having a family, being a good father, a good husband, a friend, which is all factors that involve in a relationship or in a marriage, important factors. I was not, I was not complying with them. I was not being true to them, to all these promises. I had failed. My love was tainted because I was sharing, my love for my wife and family, that I had finally got something that I had been praying for all my life. I was sharing it with drugs, alcohol, and the lifestyle. So it was tainted. It was not pure. I could not give my wife and my family pure love because I was loving something else at the same time.
Number 4, depression. Personal issues such as depression, personality disorders, and low self-esteem can drain the life out of a relationship. Many partners feel frustrated because they give so much but don't get anything back. These issues slowly drive a couple apart.
When we were fighting and I would feel that he didn't understand me, I would reach for sharp objects that were in front of me, and I would cut myself because I wanted to show him that I'm really in agony, that I'm not okay, and that if I don't get help, that if he doesn't help me or somebody doesn't help me, that I'm not going to be okay.
We spent many nights in hospital because she would hurt herself. She'll, break, she'll keep hitting herself with a saucepan or cut herself, and we'll have to spend nights in hospital. It was very, very scary.
Number 3, unfaithfulness. Many married people feel that their needs aren't being met by their partner and are tempted to find elsewhere what they're missing at home. Affairs are almost always certain to kill a marriage.
Like in the back of my head, I knew, okay, this was wrong. But I got to the point where I was just so mad at how things had turned out or how things were going that I was just like, okay, well, might as well. And then once it actually started, once we actually got into having sex and the cheating part, I was like, I started feeling bad, and everything just kind of clicked. I was like, I can't do this. I have to stop. When I saw how much that hurt him, it was just like I wanted to take it back just then. I wanted to rewind and go back before it even, not before I told him, but before I ever actually cheated on him. And I wanted to stop it before it got to that point, but I couldn't because it had already happened. In my head, I had believed to myself that he had cheated just because we had been so distant. And when I saw that hurt, I knew that he never had, that he really did love me and he really had been faithful that whole time. So.
At number 2, lack of communication. The very essence of a marriage is an exchange of and respect for each other's ideas, wants, and feelings. Many couples talk, but fail to communicate. Talking and communicating are two very different things.
If it wasn't his way, it was the highway. So I was walking around on eggshells because if I said or did anything that he didn't agree with, he'd up and leave. And I'd never had that before. I felt like I'd never had someone leave me before. And the thing about it, it wouldn't be he'd leave and then take my calls to talk about it. He shut down all communication. He wouldn't take my phone calls, he wouldn't email me, and I was just over there thinking, what do I do now? You know, what's going on? Yeah, I didn't know how to deal with that. Didn't want to deal with that.
I know that Pam uses this expression, you know, it's my way or the highway. It was never that. It was I would shut down because I was not getting through. Part of my anger was I was angry with myself because I could not, you know, with an engineering background, you try to analyze everything, and I would be angry at myself because I couldn't figure out what it was I needed to do.
And the number one marriage killer? Lack of trust. Lying, deceiving, keeping secrets, and jealousy are a few of the many ways that trust is destroyed in a relationship. Many couples find the strength to forgive each other's failures, but find it much harder to trust their spouses after they've been betrayed.
Hurt turned to, frustration and anger. It was something that it boiled me inside tremendously. I didn't, I think at that point, to me, the world shut down. And, you just stop caring about a lot of things at that point because the anger is so great that, at any point, you could snap. And I don't know where my head was at the time. I had to get in my own zone to pray. I had to pray, for her. I had to pray for me that I get over it, because if I didn't, then things were gonna go bad, and things were gonna go bad real fast.
These are only a few of the reasons why many marriages have been failing. But there is hope. Many people who were on the brink of divorce, failing in their first, second, or even third marriage, have been helped by attending the Succeed in Marriage course offered by the Succeed in Life Center in Houston. Problems such as trusting your spouse, addictions, a lack of respect for each other, constant fighting and unfaithfulness start to lessen in frequency until they're permanently gone with the practical tools given in this course. Some of those who have attended this course in the past talk about how it has helped them, how they found the power to change themselves and forgive their spouse. A key reason for the effectiveness of the Succeed in Marriage course is its focus on solving the root of marriage problems.
I came into the marriage very young, very insecure. I came from a very dysfunctional family. I brought in a lot of baggage. I would tease, we would joke that Brian came from the Leave It to Beaver household, and I came more from the Ozzy Osbourne kind of household, and it was just, very hard to learn to mesh. I had no idea what respect was. I had been abused by every authority over me up to that point, and so there were ways I was disrespecting him that I had no idea that's what I was doing, and that just opened up, the blinds for me, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I really started looking at the things I said, the way I did them, and I could see, I was disrespectful so much at the time, not intending to be, but nevertheless it has that same effect.
As you attend this course, you'll begin to see your sense of helplessness turning into a confident hope that your marriage can change no matter how bad it is.
Before we came to the course, the thoughts in my head were, this isn't gonna go anywhere. This is never gonna get any better. Like me and her just wasting time being together. So why continue to stay together? It was a thought. I think one of the first things I realized to myself the first day we came here, I was just sitting there and I said to myself, there's no way that I'm letting go of her. Like I said, just seeing it on a large scale and everything is in perspective, I said to myself, it doesn't matter what happens. Our relationship, like we have to resolve whatever issues it is we have, because I'm not letting her go. I'm not getting out of the relationship.
Acknowledging where you've gone wrong is an important part of the marriage restoration process.
She reminded me one of the other tools was speak softly. You know, when you approach an issue, speak softly. You're speaking to your best friend. You know, just those little cues, you know, out of those 27 tools.
And when he comes at me softly, it just melts my heart. I'd do anything in the world for him. But when he comes out at me with a harsh or argumentative type manner, it just puts up walls and pushes me back. You know?
That happens with everyone. I mean, it seems like I ought to know that by now, but sometimes you're just stupid.
This course will teach you what to do after the I do. How to deal with the challenges of living with someone who is so different from you and who is not showing any signs of change.
We learned each other. You know, we took a course and we learned each other. And now that we know each other partially, it's exciting getting to know her more. You know, I told my friend that, and I said, you don't realize who you live with until you learn them. You know, and you can be married to them and say, I've been married for however many years. Until you learn the breakdown of that person and really get interested and intimate about knowing that person, it does not matter. You know, and those tools in this course, it basically gave me the private blueprint for this person. You know, it gave me the tools, it gave me the knowledge to go and seek and find all about this person, how this person works, what I can do to make it better, you know, my relationship with this person. And if I have to race across town to get that information, of course I'm gonna do it.
Many couples have found that this course has helped them restore trust in their relationship.
The changes that I saw in Natalie were really, really big. Thinking that one day I might come home and find her, you know, with her arms bleeding and she wouldn't even be alive. To seeing her from beating herself up, from taking her to psychologists, from spending endless nights in hospitals, to seeing her today is just amazing. She didn't change overnight, but I did see gradually her attitudes change towards me. She gave me more attention, she was more loving, she was more calm, she was more patient. It's just, it was like she did a 360 change.
We don't argue like we used to. We don't have the bitterness towards each other. We are able to love each other unconditionally. We're able to talk to each other. I find with him especially, as a woman I'm emotional, and sometimes I just need for him to comfort me and to be able to talk to me about how I'm feeling. Before, I never had that. He would tell me to be quiet and that I'm crazy or I don't know what I'm talking about. But now he actually sits and he talks to me, and it feels awesome. It's such an awesome feeling to be able to have a husband who, if I've had a really bad day at work or if I've got doubts or I've got problems, that I can go to him and talk to him about anything